Now, I will plead with you to take the next question very softly, because as a Christian, I believe my faith teaches me to render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, so which means I respect constituted authority. My question is about your best friend, our president and commander. Now, you propounded this theory of a cloned man, and that our current president is a Sudanese man called Jibril. Do you agree that your information might have been wrong, and you're also willing to apologize to him for that error? Anybody can make a mistake.
No, not at all. Buhari is dead and buried in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia. Aisha Buhari was there. She came back from what they called a lesser Hajj. She was wearing black. She was mourning. If you look at the pictures that were circulated at that point in time, you will see the smug, or should I say, the forlorn faces of northern governors. A minute silence was held at the AU for a late Buhari. Even Her Britannic Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, also penned a condolence message to the people of Nigeria before the cabal took over and asked her to rescind it, which she did. Buhari is dead, and I'm prepared to stake Biafra on it. If you, Dele Momodu, can go and prove to me, I'm not asking you to do anything too complex. If you can go and ask this man you call Buhari, whoever it is in Aso Rock, to come outside, don't do very much, address a panel of Nigerian youths, maybe 20 of them, and speak Buhari's mother tongue, which is Fulfude. I will give up Biafra, I will apologize to him, and I will submit myself to any authority on this earth to do with me as they please. There is no Buhari. Jibril was there. Jibril followed Abba Kyari to Cuba and ran away from there and never came back. The man you have now in Aso Rock is from Niger Republic. His name is Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. That's his name. Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. Even Shekau knows who he is personally and was mentioning his name as well. It is not Buhari. The old Buhari that you and I know, the country cannot be burning and he will restrict himself to only 12 minutes of edited broadcast. Impossible. Impossible. Anybody that knows Buhari, even if he's dying, he must speak because he fought in his own understanding to keep Nigeria one. Anything that impacts or threatens the territorial cohesion and integrity of Nigeria, the old Buhari, in fact, he will be in Lagos. The old Buhari will be in Lagos, I'm telling you. But this little, have you not seen him? With his fresh hands of a 35-year-old. He cannot wear this. He cannot wear this. Because if he wears this, his ear will bend. Because it's rubber. Silicon. We know about AI technology. It's deep fake. Please Google it. You're a media man, you must know this. I can replicate this very interview with your face showing us having this conversation, but it is not you. You also saw that some, would I say, some eagle-eyed investigators managed to discover that there was actually a microphone, a loudspeaker on the table. It's everything that they claimed that Buhari was saying was coming from a loudspeaker. From a loudspeaker. Very, very sad indeed. These are the things that the world must understand and come to terms with. That the person you are calling Buhari is not Buhari, and I can stake my life on it. If he comes out tomorrow and takes, or should I say, address any press interview live without Garba Shehu doing this, telling people to cut. If he can come out tomorrow, a panel of journalists will, not journalists because some of them are corrupt, youths will address him. There and then you will know that Buhari is no more. There is no Buhari. No country. How can you have a country you claim you're proud of, and that country is run by 10-minute video recorded every 4 months. What sort of country is that? Every 4 months you issue a pre-recorded video to address 200 million people. What an insult. What an insult. In a time of crisis, there is COVID-19, people are agitating, they're very restive. The only thing you can do is 10 minutes video. Laughable and absolutely absurd. And no sensible person should be able to tolerate it. Buhari is dead, and I stake my life on it.
Please don't stake your life on it, because I am very, very convinced that he is alive. I have been meeting Buhari since 2010. Okay? And the last time I met him was 2 years ago inside Aso Rock with a former president of Africa. I met him, we interacted, he cracked jokes with me, he even said that he seems to have added weight. I am telling you that I am not foolish not to know the person I've been seeing for 10 years. I've worked closely with him on his campaign, and yes, you could have your theory why you think. You see, my own theory is different. Because he was very sick, a lot of people thought that he would die, and God restored his life. And I think that is why you think he is dead. I am personally convinced that he's alive. I believe that a man like President Olusegun Obasanjo will not go and hold any meeting with a cloned president of Nigeria. If I can't vouch for any other person, I know that Obasanjo will never agree. He will talk.
There is a saying where I come from, Dele. If you see something that is greater than your farm, you sell your barn where your harvest of yam is, where you store your yam, because that is the greatest thing that any Igbo man has in the olden days. If you see something that is greater than your farm, you sell your barn. And you could be a robber. They do not want to expose that the fact that Buhari is dead, because everybody depends on the oil and gas coming from Biafra land. Without oil and gas, Nigeria will be worse than a banana republic. There will be nothing happening there. Nigeria runs what is called a rentier economy. You sell oil and gas to import everything you need, including toothpick, including Indomie and pasta. So what is called the doctrine of stabilization. If you come out and you announce that Buhari is dead, there will be pandemonium everywhere. In fact, the US government feels that if they allow a precipitous collapse of Nigeria, it may impact the wider region. That is what the Africa desk at the State Department has been doing for very many years. So if you expose the fact that Buhari is dead, it will cause pandemonium, and there will be regional destabilization, and you will have a whole lot more of foreign terrorist groups to contend with. Now you have 7. Many more will come up. They do not want to turn northern Nigeria into another Yemen, Afghanistan, or Syria, or Somalia, for that matter. That is the only reason why they're keeping quiet, and everybody's hoping that he will make it to 2023 so that Aisha can go with the boyfriend and relax, because Buhari is dead. Absolutely dead and confirmed. Look at the hands of I can become a trend. You have seen that little boy they call Tagwe that used to mimic Buhari, speak the way that Buhari does, crack Buhari jokes. That little boy is an Igbo boy. They've not given him a Fulani girl to marry. You know that little boy called Tagwe, he's a comedian. He mimics Buhari. These things happen. People can mimic Obama. People can mimic whoever they want to mimic. There are expert actors who can do all of these things. But let me make this very clear to you. It's a very simple thing. I'm not asking for a DNA test anymore. If Buhari can hold a meeting, the man you call Buhari, with Nigerian youths to ask him questions and speak his mother tongue Fulfude, then I will give up. But I can assure you categorically that you are one of those that they have deceived, but they cannot deceive us. It was a well choreographed, well planned, and executed with military precision. They knew what they were doing because Britain is in charge. Britain is in charge. The same way they took charge of the NSAS protest. You were there, you were watching. When British High Commissioner went to Lagos, did not see the Lagos State Governor, Petso Tinubu. It, not up to 48 hours, the army came and started shooting. And now, as they say, the rest is history. The people controlling you are those that created you. The people that made you a Nigerian are those now in charge of your lives. You are not in charge of Nigeria. They are. And they're the ones running the show. And maybe next week, you get another 10 minutes video recorded. The old Buhari couldn't have done that. Ask Obasanjo, how many times did you allow them to broadcast a recorded speech in a time of national crisis? How many times Obasanjo will tell you no? Jonathan, the same thing. Only this thing that they put up there. Now, I will ask you to put on your face mask. Put it on. Put on your face mask. Let us see. Do you have one with you?
Yeah.
Ask them to bring it for you. Put it on. Your ear will not bend. Your ear can never bend. It's impossible because you're a human being. You have cartilage in your ear. But if this ear is made of silicone, as the one that Aisha's boyfriend is wearing, once you put on mask, your ear will bend. Simple. And that is why we have common sense and brain. Keep asking yourself. They took a picture with Jonathan, with everybody, with Yemi Osinbajo. None of them had their ears bent. Only Buhari's ears were bent. Others were wearing the same mask, but only Buhari's ear was bent, meaning that it's made out of rubber, silicone. The person that's not Buhari can never ever be. Please go ahead.